Hello everyone, welcome to another video of Slidescope related to full stack web development. We are learning Node.js and let's get started with Node.js. Before you get started with Node.js, you should download Node.js, right? So just type Node.js download and we already have that video in the timeline of how to download Node.js. So in the playlist you already have that video. So as per your computer, if you are using Mac or Linux or whatever operating system you are using, you can go to Node.js download and you can either use the package manager. We can also use the pre-built installer. This is the best way to install it on Windows or Mac or Linux. Okay. So as per your operating system, you can choose this and download and install Node.js. At the time of creating this video, the version of Node.js that we have is 20.18.0. So obviously we learned about Node.js in the previous part. Installing Node.js, as I told you, you can use this download Node.js. And now once it is installed on your Windows or Mac OS or Linux OS, uh, you have to check whether it is installed properly or not. So here we are inside a folder in our computer. Again, depending upon different operating systems, this is step may be different, but all you have to do is you just have to open CMD, and in your CMD you have to check whether Node.js is there or not. Okay, so I'm doing is I'm running CMD here. Okay, or you can use the DOS command prompts and you can navigate to this application, you can navigate to this folder, or you can use your CMD simply, whatever you want to do. All you have to do is you have to run these two commands which I have already provided, that is node v. It will tell you what version of node is there in your computer. Okay, I will do it inside the folder where I'm going to create a node project. And then the second thing that you have to do is npmv. Okay, this will tell you what version of node package manager do you have. So we have 10.8.2 of node package manager and we have 20.18.0 of node.js. So make sure that at least this much is done after you have followed that video of how to install node.js. Okay, if you are using Linux, you can open your terminal, and in your terminal you can type sudo apt update. Then you can type sudo apt install node.js and sudo apt install npm, and then you can verify it by trying node v and npm. Now let's try to understand npm a little bit. What is node package manager? npm comes bundled with node.js, and it is used to manage packages or libraries that extend the functionality of your node.js application. Suppose you want, I'm just giving you one example. Let's say you want your application to have all type of web scraping functionality. Just giving you an idea. Or you want your application to be able to connect with databases or any particular database. So NPM will help you in giving that extra functionality. It can extend the functionality of Node.js application. There are various functionalities that comes pre-built in here. The next thing as a beginner that you have to understand is you have to understand the basic npm commands. A very basic npm command is npm install, and then you will type the package name. We'll be using this command a lot in our tutorial series, so you have to remember this. Now when we are installing a package or a library, so there are two things. Either you can install a package locally or you can install a package globally. What does that mean? So if you remember, let's say we want to create a project inside some folder. Okay, let's say we are creating a project. So let's say we are creating a new folder here, my node project. Okay, and we have to, we are now inside my node project, and here we are using CMD. You can navigate here also from your C drive, D drive, whatever drive you have. The idea is now we are inside this folder. Okay. If you want to go outside, you can go outside. If you want to go inside, you can go inside. So this way, so if you will run npm, so we are inside this folder. You can use the simple navigation with these DOS commands to navigate from anywhere, or terminal commands. The thing is, suppose you want to install a package here. So we will write npm install, and we will install some package. So let we will write those package names later, but say the name is package. Okay. So this will install the package locally in this folder locally. But again, if we are inside any folder or using the terminal or using the command prompt, and we write it like npm install g and then the package name, okay, then it will install it globally. What does that mean? It means that the package will be installed locally in the project folder, but with G, it install the package for use across your system. Okay, so that is something you have to understand and you have to remember this. If you want to uninstall a package, suppose you have installed a package that you no longer need in your application, so you will use npm uninstall and then that package name. Okay. Exploring some packages. You can search for packages on the official npm registry. So using this link, you will go to npmjs.com and you can search for packages. Okay. Let's say I'm just typing something, meter, whatever. Let's say what it returns. An express middleware for simple request throttling. Okay. Angular password strength meter, rn meter, React meter, chart, PW, strength, bootstrap. Yes. Suppose you want to uh, route or route. Okay. So if you will, because in your application you want to use route, simple routing library, right? So Express, View Router, React Router DOM, we'll be using this a lot. React Router DOM is something that you can use to navigate to different pages in your application. We will use it with React web applications. So this is something that you can do. So exploring packages, as I said, some commonly used packages include express.js. And if you remember, this is the name in MERN and MERN stack that is used a lot. So express.js is a minimal web framework for building APIs and web app. It is very important, and we will need this. Low dash, okay, a utility library for simplifying the JavaScript code. This will simplify how you write the JavaScript code. So this is something that we are going to learn. Writing your first Node application. If you want to create a hello world application, so create a new file, that is app.js. Okay. So what we are going to do is we are going to use VS Code. You can use your favorite you know IDE. Let's close all of this. We can do, we can run also. What we can do, let's drag this folder to VS Code. Okay. So this will open this, yes, trust, and this is my node project is open. Okay. Here we are going to create a new file, and as per the tutorial, the name of this file we are going to keep is app.js. Okay. All the steps are here. So we will create this file. So inside our node project folder, this will be created. If you will go here, inside it you will see app.js is created. It's a JavaScript file, JS file. Okay. After doing that, you will just copy this content inside your file. So console, we are writing on console hello node.js. Okay. How will we see this data? How will we see this output? We can see, you can write your name, you can write hello, Slidescope, whatever you want to write. Okay, so this is hello from Slidescope. So we are writing this. Okay, now we have done nothing so far. We have installed Node.js. We have not installed any package. We have just used a folder on our computer. In our computer, we have created a file that is called app.js, which means it's a JavaScript file. And in that file, in the console, we are writing something. That is console.log hello from whatever. Now, you need to run the script. Okay, to run the script you will use terminal. And where is terminal? So in your application, here is the terminal, node app.js. This means with node we are going to run this app.js. Okay, and in the console you will get the output, right? So this is what this simple application is going to do. It's not doing too much, but this makes you understand that node is working properly, your code is working properly. If suppose you forget to do something like this and you run it, like, you will get good amount of errors. Okay, so obviously this is something that you are going to use properly. Now let's move ahead, and as it is saying, it will print this in your terminal. Now let's create a simple web server. What is happening right now, we are using the terminal to display our output, but this is not the ideal way to display something. Okay, suppose you want to display your output in a browser, right? Like for example, this website from where you are learning, from where you have the code, this is also running on a browser. Okay, your local host is running on a browser. This MySQL database called CRM on CRM is running in a browser. So what we have to do, we have to create a server. Server, as the name suggests, will serve something, you know. So in short, in order to show something on the server, we can create a simple web server with the help of Node.js. So we will create another file here which will be called as server.js. So we can again click here, call it server.js, and in server.js simply copy and paste the command. What is this doing? So first thing that it is doing is it is creating a variable called http. Okay, and you can see, to use http we have to import it. Okay, this is a module, and the HTTP interface in Node.js are designed to support many features of the protocol which have been traditionally difficult to use. Okay, so we are going to use HTTP, then we are going to create our server. So with the help of this HTTP we will create the server, and in the server we will set the response at status code as 200. In the response we will set the header as content type text or plain. So when you open a browser, when you open an application on web, the response is either HTML or a JSON or XML or a plain text. There can be different type of responses, and that is set with the help of header. Okay, like this header will tell the browser what type of content is this, what type of page is this. So that way the browser will display the output. If it is HTML, it will display it as HTML. If it is JSON, it will display it as JSON, and so on. And then the response will end with hello world. Okay, server will listen to the port 3000, and in the console it will be written that server is running at this URL. Okay, when you will copy and paste this URL after running the server in your browser, so this URL will give you this output, hello world, hello dunia, whatever you want to give. So what we are going to do is we will simply run this and see what happens. Okay, and you can see server is running at this. We have got this output. Let's copy this and see whether we are getting the output or not. Okay. And when you will see hello world. You will press Control U, you will see that. So this is representing the output as a simple text file. Okay. So this way you can tell. Instead of text plain, if we write something like application and JSON, that is JavaScript object notation. If you want to display the output of this particular server or whatever you have written inside this server as a JSON output, then if you will simply click here, it will run it as JSON file. Okay, first we have to run. Of course, I tried that. That's why you are seeing that. So you can see it is showing the JSON output. How I can tell JSON? Because it is giving the pretty print option. And secondly, when I am saving the page, you can see it is getting saved as download.json. Okay, so this is your output. Important thing is this JSON is not in the correct format, but at least it's a output. So the only thing that we want to tell here is with the help of set header, we can tell what type of output do we want. We can write text, HTML, application, JSON, text, CSS, any type of output can be served with the help of this application. Okay, so this is something that we have done so far. We will discuss about working with modules. As you can see here, we are already working with one module called HTTP. HTTP module helps us. So the HTTP module in Node.js is a built-in library that allows developers to create web applications and services as we did just now. You can create web server, set up a server that listens for HTTP request on given port, handle request and responses, that mean process incoming data and send responses back to the client, communicate with other APIs, that means use HTTP 1.1 to HTTPS to communicate with other APIs, and work with headers as we just did, set up headers and status code either implicitly or explicitly. Okay, we set up the header code here, like we set up stated code as 200, we set up the header as application JSON, we did all of that. Okay, so this is what this module did, and it's a built-in module or built-in library. Now working with modules is something that is our next chapter. So just revise this chapter, try all of this code. The code is all mentioned there on this URL. I will share this, and then we will see you in the next chapter or the next video.